everybody? Welcome into the 5.19 update show. I'm Aggro, going to be your host today for the Queen of the Gods patch. You guys have been very patiently awaiting Hera. Well, some of you patiently awaiting Hera, and we're sure to be excited for you here today. We got a lot of good stuff in this patch, of course. We always do. We got some bug fixes, some Project Olympus updates that I think you guys are going to be very excited about. It's some balance, but it is going to be a little bit light as we're getting ready for the World Championships at DreamHack Atlanta this year. And of course, the God reveal of Hera. But as I just mentioned, HRX is coming up, and we want to make sure that you guys are ready to be there. Make sure you buy your tickets. Time is running out. It's in November 16th through the 18th, of course, this year. HighResExpo.com is a place to go. Make sure you get your place to stay sorted as well. This is in the middle of downtown Atlanta. There is limited space, and those hotel rooms are going pretty quickly. So make sure you get your ticket as soon as possible. There's an after party on Sunday as well. Make sure you get your ticket there. Watch the SPL broadcast. We go over it all the time. What are you waiting for? As I mentioned, we got a lot of good stuff, as well as some of those skins that you saw to open up the show. So let's go and take a little bit of a look at those. Not the in-depth that we'll go into later, but a little bit more of a preview. We'll start with that Shonen Spark Mercury. This is a skin that we teased earlier on last week or this week, and I'm very excited about this skin. Mercury also doing, he's in a lot of my games right now, so I'm sure he's going to be in a lot of yours as well. At least you'll be getting beat up in style with Shonen Spark Mercury. Cutting Edge Uller is another one that I saw a lot of people excited for. This skin looking really, really good. Can't wait to see the effects on this one. It has that feel about it. You know, it looks cool, but you know there's even more that's in store for you. Again, we'll be going over these skins a little bit later on. Omnitech Odin, you also got a preview of this one. I love the little detail. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that GGNR, the Gungnir abbreviation, you know, for whatever reason, it's cooler when you don't use vowels in those sorts of situations. And I think it holds true. There it is right there on the chest plate on the left-hand side. That one looking amazing. And then second to last, but certainly not second to least or least. I think that's how that should work. Shadow Eater Bakasura. This skin, as if you weren't horrified enough going up against Apwash in the skin that kind of this one reminds me of. Now, Bakasura is so creepy already. Like the movement, the head movement, and all that kind of, I don't know. I'm just going to I'm scared. Too spooky for me. God Scylla is the coolest skin that I've seen this patch. Dude, I cannot wait to see the skins. I believe there's a VXG for this one. This will be right in time for Halloween later on this month. Scylla dressing up Godzilla. Oh man, I cannot wait to see more about that skin. It's going to be awesome. So I've got some good news and bad news for you guys to start off this show. The bad news is Hindu Man's here. Or is that the good news? No, that is the bad news. Okay, that's the bad news. Hindu Man's not here. The good news is the true carry of the bug fix and the balance section, Pon is still here and ready. He's got to put up with FDOT today, but that's kind of what we all have to do. They've got Project Olympus updates as well, so we'll throw it over to them right about now.
I mean, I could do my Hindu Man impression. You want to hear that one, Aggro?
No.
Aggro says yeah.
No.
Okay, I've gotten a no. Anyway, I'm here with Pon. We're going to break down some of the changes. And before we get into it, I want to start with the conversation that we had here last time. Yeah. So we're getting down to the end of the year. I almost said end of the season. I'm esports at heart, and that's where I'm coming from. The players are going to be playing at HRX, at DreamHack. And so right now, we don't want to mess with the water too much. We're just trying to kind of find some tweaks and small flips.
Yeah, really what we're looking to do is any character that is a bit too oppressive, having too high a representation, a little bit stifling of the meta, we want to bring back a little bit. We don't want to remove them as a whole, right? We don't want to just be like, oh, Mercury's doing really well right now. Let's just tank him, right? We want him to be a little bit more reasonable to manage so that he can shine, but so can other gods.
During the regular season, we might be a little bit more heavy-handed with the changes, and that can cause some gods to come in and outside of the meta. Right now, the meta is pretty much set and dry. You got to ban the Chernobog, you got to ban the Freya and the Mercury. And stuff. So we're not going to be looking to walk away from that world. We're looking to say, all right, those are the powerful characters and the teams have practiced their strategies therein. We'll tweak them to make sure they're not oppressive, but they're still going to be strong as where they were before. So
And then 520 won't have any balance in it. It's just going to be bug fixes and hair balance, because that's the patch that they will actually be playing on. We just want to make sure that this is like kind of last patch that they have time to practice on it. And then 520, they're going to be traveling. They won't have so much time to play on that either. So we don't want to make any too major adjustments there.
Hair balance? You changing?
We'll see.
Changing some nuance here?
Hey, look, Baron never needed anything.
Hey, that's why, because he wears a hat. Can't see his hair.
Yeah.
Wears a hat.
So he doesn't need what?
You said hair balance. He
Oh
wears a
yeah,
hat.
hair balance.
You can't balance his hair.
There you go.
Does that mean gods like
it.
Agni are harder to hair balance because they have 2 heads?
They have 2 heads, but they also don't have hair, which can make it really difficult.
Well, maybe we'll have to look at some of the animal-based characters. Fenrir, pretty tough there. Anyway, getting into it, let's just break down one of the more general spots here. Muting players will now, finally, mute all noise they make. Now, when you mute me, I used to just ping you repeatedly. You won't hear my pings anymore. That will just be on my frustration side.
Yep. If you've muted someone, you shouldn't be able to hear them really anyway.
No VGS?
No VGS.
No spam pinging?
It's mute is mute.
There it is. That's what it's supposed to do. So, fantastic job. Welcome to Mute City. Falcon Punch. You like that one?
Yeah, it's good. That was a good segue.
General UI updates specifically for console here. So the loading screen and a lot of elements on it have been updated to generally reduce the busyness of everything and have a clearer aesthetic. So you should just be a little bit more obvious, no nonsense on the screen so much.
Yeah, so KDA is being removed. The fantasy point stuff like that,
Odyssey.
where like when you had all the things that you could possibly have on your loading frame, you ended up like covering like most of the card art and looked very kind of messy. So we're cleaning that up. We're also adding the options so that players, when they have the show hide mastery, they can just control that separately. So that way you have that control over your loading frame as well. In addition, we also wanted to take a little bit of time to address the 519 console update or 518 console update, where we changed the UI really heavily, and there was a lot of things that weren't quite clear.
Yeah, people were talking.
Yeah, people were definitely talking. I like the comment of oh man, you have a really good team comp there. You got 2 left arrows and 2 explosions. Great comp. Whereas because we took away a lot of information, so we're looking to revisit that. We've had a blog post out there that talks about our current plans, the current fixes we have going, and the future updates as well. And we're going to continue to iterate on that and improve that to make sure that it's a good experience, not something that ends up taking away from anything.
Project Olympus is definitely a long-term strategy, just trying to beautify the game. Very apropos saying Rome wasn't built in a day, and so a couple of different approaches here, and I think everything going to come up feeling Millhouse as long as we're continuing on the same path. Recently added players have been added as well to your friends list, so if you go and you play a game against somebody and you want to talk to them or report them, even if they were that bad of a person, you can go ahead onto your friends list and just take care of that. Nice cut and dry. Steam linking. Now, this is a big deal. An option is now available for PC players to link their SMITE account to their Steam account. Linking is optional and not going to be a big deal, but in the future, that's where we're going to see a sort of requirement here to link everything.
Yep, so in this patch, you'll get the option to pre-link, and what that really means is you will log in and you'll be able to take the steps necessary to link your SMITE account to your Steam account, so that when we do make it something that's going to be enforced in the future, you'll have that already done and you won't have to worry about it. And the reason we're doing this is really to integrate and improve the flow. We can give some nice Steam features that we couldn't before. We're looking to also make the kind of new player experience so that when they download the game, they don't have to go through multiple areas and create these multiple accounts. They'll just have a nice, clean way of creating an account. Really simplifies that process. And allows us to do some more cool things in the future. 2
questions that might be later on down the line. One, my name, right? I'm F-Swag in game. Don't camp me, please. When I played, for example, Realm was all on Steam. I went by my Steam name. Is that going to change? Am I going to lose my SMITE name?
Your current account should be fine. So if you have an account with a name you like, you should be good. When you create a new account, it'll be a little bit different.
Sweet.
But again, you're creating a new account name for the first time, so
and are we going to see like marketplace stuff? Is that a conversation for later?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, who knows? We'll certainly keep an eye on that one. I'm very interested personally. I want to steal all of Agro's skins. That's my entire thought process right now. Bug fixes coming through in general. Fixed an issue where players could be given the deserter penalty even if they didn't desert anything. That's fixed. That's a good one.
That's a big one.
And we fixed an issue where in-queue message persisted in the match lobby. It's up there on the left side. Now it's not. That's all nice.
It's fixed.
Easy.
We're doing it.
Nice, just doing it. Just a little bit of cleanup there. Console UI fixes again. Reverted the roll call keybind back to the way it used to be. You don't have to relearn it. Fixed an issue where assault rerolls didn't work. Guess what? They do now. So again, just beautification. Skin selection in assault should be fixed. And another issue where playing a match after jungle practice could make things go awry. So that'll be fixed as well.
And there is a blog post to go along with all that information to kind of explain the changes that we had made, why we had made them, things that didn't go nearly as well as they should have, and things we're doing to improve. That's all there in the blog post.
I think it's pretty simple. If there's something on the screen that shouldn't be there, fix it.
Yeah.
Nice job. 10 points to the people working on that stuff. And then with Odibo, Odysseus Bow, one of my favorite attack speed items, fixed an issue with a passive only stacking once with Vamana and Bakasura ultimate basic attacks. Frankly, Pon, I'm totally fine with anything that doesn't help Bakasura.
What about Vamana?
Vamana, we can talk.
Yeah, so they're together. They're both ultimate attack cleaves.
Oh,
you fix one, you got to fix the other. That's the designer conundrum.
Oh man, that is a little bit rough. But that's all the bug fixes. So a couple of things cleaned up, and if there are any more, of course, you can find that on the full documentation of the patch notes, which we'll post a little bit later. Item balance, it's that time again. And like we said, the preface to this conversation is the fact that just minor tweaks. We've kind of figured out the area of where we want the triple beam, and we're just going back and forth so that players coming to HRX don't really have to relearn the game.
Yeah, normally for our kind of balanced approaches, we tend to look at all players. We also really very much care about where the pro scene is at, how they're doing, if there's anything problematic there. We have to kind of play this balance game between fixing things for more casual sides or different like situations, as well as the pro players. Where when we approach Worlds, it's kind of a different story where we really want to make sure that this World meta is as refined as possible. 5.18 was very focused on a lot of changes. 5.19 is further focused on just explicitly things that we felt were a little bit too strong and a little bit too overbearing, so we need to bring down. And then 5.20, nothing, for the pure fact that they will be able to practice on that patch, play on that patch, and make sure Worlds is the best Worlds it can be.
Exactly, and at the risk of oversimplifying things, when you're looking at balance like this, there are maybe 10 columns that all have varying levels of weight of how important they are. And right now, the pro level column is way up right now. That's what we're looking to tweak. So with that in mind, HRX balance patch on the way. We're just finishing up some balance. So 5.20 will be small changes like we mentioned. Starting off with Oni Hunter's Garb. This item's going to see a little bit of a nerf. Started at 1,900 gold. That was too cheap, so they bumped it up 2,100. I think that's much more appropriate. 1,900 Pon.
It was fun to watch this item. People weren't picking up, and then all of a sudden it was 4 people in every single game.
Yeah.
People realize that, oh man, this only 1,900 gold gives me a ton of magical protection, some extra stats, and then it also gives me that 9% mitigation when I go dive into the team.
That's the scary part.
Super cost efficient. We're bringing up the cost to be more in line with how cost efficient the item actually is. We didn't want to nerf stats or anything. We just want to bring up the cost so that when you're going into it, you're more invested into it, and you're more invested into that diving playstyle versus just being like this thing that you pick up that's just totally efficient on its own.
2,000 gold feels like the $49.99 mark, right? Anything cheaper than $50, I will shell out, but I have to think about it once it's over. 2,000. If it's cheaper than that, you're an Ikaval. I'll buy you every game.
Yep.
Amy Tarasu, Amaterasu, many different ways of saying her name, but one change here. Divine Presence, the power buff, is going to go a little bit down. So it starts at 15, and now we're starting at 10, but we're also going to wind up at 30, so -5 to each one.
Yeah, so the Amaterasu support, where you can really pressure that duo lane, it's really hard to fight back. Not only is the power from the aura something that can be maxed early, and people were actually just maxing that ability first, it can also, the combination of that with the passive where you get that damage application after a few auto attacks really made it hard to ever aggress against Amaterasu because they could aggress so much harder. It's a cool play style, but we just want to make sure that it's not overbearing for that soul or a support lane. It's not causing too many problems. So we're just taking a little bit of power off it. You're going to get less boxing potential, less aggressive potential. Players have more chance of fighting against you.
And again, the 5 power change is something that it still will be a play style that you can enact and should expect to see the pros doing. It just won't be so oppressive. That's really the word that we're trying to stay away from. Freya's getting nerfed.
Yep,
She moves slower.
Yeah, this was one of the things that a long time ago, Freya had movement speed at 375, which is fast.
What is that? Put that in
So a standard
people.
Mage is 365.
Okay.
Some of the slower mages can even go down to 355.
Hebo feels like
most assassins probably sit around 370, 375. Vamana, 380. Because Vamana just runs fast. Mercury is 381 because he has Fastest God Alive as a passive. That is a real thing. But Freya having 375 movement speed, it allowed her to rotate really effectively. It outpaced a lot of other hunters and a lot of other mages. And so you could position yourself better. And she's all about positioning. She doesn't really have a self-escape outside of the ultimate. She doesn't really have self-peel unless she chooses to not use her aggressive banish.
Right.
And so positioning really matters. So this will be actually quite a big hit to her.
Yeah, this is going to see some change there. And then our last god change is going to be another nerf to Mercury. He's still just as fast, but his major look won't be. From 8 seconds to 10 seconds, weapons. We've seen the start with the golden bow, or excuse me, the golden blade, and even without that, his ability to just go made you look and walk past a camp. Really, really successful.
Yeah, so Golden Blade, as kind of a separate conversation, Mercury was good before Golden Blade existed. Golden Blade amplified him, and we kind of knew that Golden Blade had the potential to really break a few characters, and Mercury was one of them. And we are kind of in the spot now where we want to really look at Golden Blade and that interaction with Mercury, rather than just nerfing Golden Blade so that it's just good on him and really bad on everyone else, or nerfing Mercury too hard because now he's going to be reliant on one item, which is a previous problem that we had with that item. So for now, for HRX, we're going to increase the cooldown on his Meiji Look so that his jungle clear speed goes down a little bit, because that's really what got amplified by Golden Blade. It also reduces his poke potential and should bring him into line with more other junglers. And then we're going to take a very hard look at the interaction with Golden Blade, Assassin's Blessing, how it works with Meiji Look, and see if there's something we can do to make sure that characters can still use this widely, but it's not going to be so overbearing on Mercury.
Yeah, so nice and smooth changes here. As we said, again, if you're just joining us, very small changes intentionally so the players don't have to really learn a whole new thing. Mercury nerf, Freya's moving a little bit slower, and Amaterasu just a little bit less pressure in lane. Other than that, Oni Hunter's Garb is going to be a little bit more expensive. That's going to wrap up our side of things. Bugs, nerfs, buffs, and all the fun here. That's it for me and Pon. Aggro's sitting down with some friends, and they're going to talk cosmetics.
Thank you very much, Tom, but mostly Pon. Keep up the great work, buddy. No, Tom, it really wasn't you very much.
We love you, Tom.
All right, it's time to go over some cosmetics, as Tom mentioned. For that, I've got a couple guests here on the casual set. We've got John from the animation team, Clumsy from the design team, and Michaela, the newest member of the community team. How's everybody doing today?
Great. Fantastic.
Good?
Happy Friday.
Except for some skins.
Yeah, excited for some skins. Well, then let's get right into it, John, shall we? Let's start with Shonen Spark Mercury. This skin you saw earlier on, one that we teased a little bit before. And this one is one that I think that a lot of people are probably excited for. We have a lot of anime fans in our community, and we've got a pretty big voice actor for this skin as well.
Didn't we have Ajax on here last time with a pretty big anime character as well? Just, he had a pillow of some sort?
Oh, right. Yeah, I wasn't here for that because I heard that was going to happen.
And then you just left the studio? Gosh.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that, like, at all in that situation. Yeah, it says here we've got Vic Mignogna. Excuse me if I...
Yeah, he's a voice actor for Ed in Fullmetal Alchemist in the English dubs.
Oh, very nice.
He's
That's awesome.
very
Big
cool guy.
names there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one that I will be honest, I have not watched yet. Am I missing out?
What, Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, I haven't been.
All right, I'm gonna bring up the controversial opinion of not Brotherhood. I like the original. So
Really?
I'm
Everyone
about
tells
to
me
get
Brotherhood is the way
annihilated.
to
I'm
go.
sorry, you're wrong, but Brotherhood.
Oh, is that we're doing this right here, right now, John? Okay, see.
I can almost hear Finch like screaming from the green room. He loves Brotherhood, but that's neither here nor there. This Mercury skin, again, Mercury getting a little bit of a nerf, so he'll be able to use that first ability, made you look a little bit less often.
That hair is great. If that
It
doesn't
is.
scream anime, I don't know what does.
Yes, he has very fast hair.
He's very fast.
Yeah, he's super
Streamlined.
fast just by the hair alone. I actually went and got a haircut today, and I tried to get them to give me that, and I don't think it
Missed it a little.
Yeah, I
Just a
think-
little. The top's good.
You still
Right.
look beautiful, so it's okay.
Oh, well, thank you, Clumsy. Again, this is Shonen Spark Mercury. There's the first ability. Is that a little light? Okay, I'm never using another Mercury skin again. There it is. A lightning strike in a skin. I'm in. It is an easy sell for me.
And it glows so well.
Oh, it really
He goes
does.
on lighting
He's
right
fast.
there.
It's like technology kind of stuff. He's
Right.
definitely like your protagonist. I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe later
Right.
on we might see an antagonist, but
Oh, what are you
okay.
trying to say here? What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
I like
cool skin. Just
I
keep
like
it.
where
Just
you're
that it's a
going,
cool
though.
skin, yeah.
I like where you're going there, John. So a lot of the Mercury skins,
that's
like the
so
whole
fun.
point is that he's super fast, right? So is that a challenge for the animation team to make sure that everything is going so quickly that it looks like Mercury's doing it, but not so quickly that you can't notice?
Oh, well, mostly like we established like the speed rate, unless the design comes back and like changes something
Right.
insane. Like we have a good base to work off on, and it's mostly the effects team is really trying to throw in the speed lines and things that you see here and the 2D effects and smoke. That's definitely like where a lot of the speed comes from. It looks like.
Yeah, it gives you that feeling
yeah.
of like weights. Like right there, the clouds right now, as he's charging up, that is super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he looks like a hero who's just going to come in and like save the day.
It can get there
Over
very
and over
quickly.
again.
Yeah, at the same time.
And that smoke trail as well that he leaves when you look behind that Pon's been doing right there, you can see that. That's super awesome.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. That definitely has a lot of effects. I mean, it always has that ground effect that Sonic Boom normally has, but to leave the smoke trail really gives you the feeling of just how quickly Mercury is able to travel around. Let's take a listen to that voice pack.
Amazing! Mom's not here to protect you now. Attack middle lane! Attack the Titan! You're a hero. Yeah! I'm pretty hot. With my fists! Oh, you want to lose weight? You just need to go fast. Don't think of me as a hero. Heroes are cheesy. But I promise to protect you with my life.
Oh God. I can so hear Ed in there.
Yeah, exactly. Again, this is a pretty prominent voice actor in the American anime.
Wait, when he jumped, did he like?
Yeah, he still does a little victory
He's got
pose.
his combat jump and his there you go.
Yeah,
That's
there's
like the little
Mercury's got that
Mercury
too in
pose.
base,
Yeah.
there's the good one right there. Again, that's shown in Spark Mercury. All right, next up on the list is Cutting Edge Uller, a skin that I saw a lot of hype for on Twitter whenever it was teased earlier today. Yeah,
Doesn't
people are
look
excited about
sexy.
this one, and for good reason. He's looking really, really good. And having 2 weapons in a skin like this, I
Ooh.
think is
I mean, look at the
is
model.
really the way to
right?
go.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Yeah.
man,
I think purple skins always work really well for us.
purple is such a
It's in,
good,
it's in.
underrated color. You know, you ask someone what their
Yes.
favorite color is, it's always blue or something
Red.
like that, like red. Yeah, where's the
What if you
purple?
mix
of?
those two?
Yeah.
You get purple.
What,
It's
wait, hold
best
on.
of
What
both
just
worlds.
happened when he changed? He just changed stance into like a cool little pop up.
There's lots of cool effects in it, so Edward and the effects team went above and beyond for this. So you can see like Sindri tech. So Sindri in Norse mythology is like portrayed as like a forger of like weapons and armor and stuff.
Right.
So
Oh, that is
Sindustries
so
is like a
cool.
company that
Sind-
created. Yeah, I know. It's
That's
crazy. It's crazy. Right?
awesome. Those little like tidbits that we get
Uh-huh.
in, that's just super fantastic.
That is
Oh, that's beautiful.
so cool. Great little purple effects, purple and blue, a little bit both mixed in there on the axe. And I think the first thought that a lot of people have when they look at this type of skin, because we have so many skins that do that color change sort of thing, is that there might have been some color change. But I kind of like that it's static here with, with the purple and blue.
Oh wow, I love the ground. How it like kind of yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
Yeah, there's
that.
lots of like kind of digital like fizzling out and stuff like that when he
Yes.
shoots his bow and stuff. You see the arrows.
Range engaged.
Yeah.
Super cool. The auto attacks look great as well.
Oh,
so the axe
double-bladed
stance looks a
arrow
little bit more blue, and the bow stance looks a little bit more purple. Is what I'm seeing. Here,
Yeah,
which,
no, I'm getting that vibe too.
which is super cool.
I also love the various textures that he's wearing. You can just see all the different details and
The
really brings it
cloth,
all
the
together.
metallic.
Yeah. There's that hail of arrow. Same sort of fizzle out effect on the ground there. Looks really, really cool. The model does really stand out at how it's got like the futuristic look, but it's still pretty rugged in a way for a futuristic.
It stands out from any of our other kind of futuristic skins, to
Right.
be honest.
It's
Yeah.
very
And
different.
this is his first, I think.
And yeah, this is first. You're right.
Super cool here for Cutting Edge Uller. Let's take a listen to the voice pack.
Not bad. Attack middle lane. Defend. You're getting good. Whoa. I'm their guy. You're gonna need stronger firewalls. If you're worried about cybercrime, just send me your passwords and I'll tell you how secure they are. In my teens, I made a band named 1023 Megabits. We never made a gig.
Oh man.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Guys, speaking of passwords, did you know that these studio microphones actually mute your password when you say it into it?
Oh, yeah. you should
really?
do
Watch
that.
right now.
Yeah, try
Hunter
it.
2.
Hunter 2. Yeah.
Did you
Did
wait? Did you didn't hear me? Say
No, I
that,
heard
did
you in real life though.
Oh, right. But you don't think they?
No, they
no,
didn't.
no.
Okay.
What's your
'cause-
email?
Well, it doesn't mute that.
Oh, right,
Like,
right.
Come on now. That's not how this bit works. Again, this is Cutting Edge Uller. I really want as many range engaged and like melee mode engaged sort of skins like this as
Activations, yeah.
possible. Yes, this is super cool. Already love it there for the
That's
Uller.
Chris Wakehamp is the voice actor for that.
Oh yeah. Super cool. All right, let's take a look at rather, and I guess we'll listen eventually. Omnitech Odin is one that I was excited about when I saw
I'm
it.
super excited for this.
This is, I mean, I am in awe of the size of this lad.
You're an absolute unit.
works
you
out.
know?
He really is a complete unit.
And check out that blade.
I love that blade. Just the effects that it has on it. I feel like it would slice just clean through you.
Yeah, it's a little bit more visceral than something like the traditional, like the cut through futuristic
Yeah, it's
sort
just
of
a solid
weapon.
blade. No, that thing's like alive. And it's,
Yeah,
like,
it is,
flaming.
like that'll hurt while it goes through you, where instead of just cutting it clean off. And he looks like he's gonna
The
do some
GGNR,
business with
the
it.
Gungnir.
I
like
love
that.
that.
I
That's
think
what I was
he's got
saying in the open. Like whenever you just remove vowels from a word, it looks cool.
Yes.
I think he's got
immediately.
the Raven Core. That's what he's part of.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Some cool sounding auto attacks there.
Ooh.
I love that little honeycomb effect almost that he has there.
Again, all the tech type skins are like just phenomenal
Yeah,
effects
right.
wise.
Right. Yeah, very much so. Sorry, I just wanted to listen to that sound. That's super cool, that like little build up that you get there.
It's like charging up.
Right, exactly. And good like audio cues of when you have to use Aegis or an immunity frame of some sort to get away
Nice.
from that Raven
The
shield.
color scheme of the blue and the orange as well.
Yes,
fits
they really
well.
complement each other really well. And when he does that leap, you can see kind of like in the circumference, if you will, of the circle, it shoots up. I love that. It's pretty.
Yeah, he looks really, really cool. But he's an absolute unit, but he still gets off the ground pretty well.
Well, yeah, when he jumps and
He's got
does
that
his
jetpack.
leap.
Oh, wait, yeah, he's got a little jetpack.
His jetpacks actually shoot
Oh,
out.
yeah, right there. He's got a little.
That
So
is
the jumping,
so
the leap,
cool.
and things like that.
Does it do it on the lunge as well? Is there
Yeah, on the leap.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. The Ring of Spears, a digital cage
Yeah.
this time around, but still one that you can't get out of.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool because this one actually puts up like the honeycomb kind of like
Yeah.
digital
Yeah.
walls instead of just all spears.
Do you think that Cutting Edge Uller can hack the wall and bring it down? Do you think there's like a little
Yeah, I don't think so,
interaction
no.
there? No.
He just jumps over it. He's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's fair, I suppose. Let's take a listen to this voice pack, which I hear Clumsy. You had a pretty big part.
Yeah, I wrote the voice lines for this one. It was I enjoy.
Better
doing
be
that.
good.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's
I'm
take a
sure I'm
listen.
getting a lot of flack.
Yeah.
Attack!
How could you put attack? What?
Attack middle lane!
What is that writing, Clumsy? Attack? Like, come on.
No, I will not say that. I appreciate you. I did what I needed to. I am the indestructible force that will bring an end to you. I bring the heat of an eternal shining star. You are but an ant toasting away.
Damn.
The suit is
pretty dope.
extremely energy efficient. They call me the Green Machine.
Okay. So did you get to work with the voice actor here as well?
So for this one, I didn't get to, but
Okay.
usually the designer who does the voice lines will also work with the voice actor too.
Cool. Well, it sounds great. I think it turned out pretty well. He's a little bit less calm and cool and collected than Cutting Edge Uller. Like he's really here to mess you up. And
Oh yeah,
everything
he was
else.
built to destroy you.
Yeah, like there is no doubt on what.
Yeah,
Is there a man beneath that costume in your? So I usually ask Tina these sorts of really random
Like,
questions.
is he just the suit, or is there a
Right.
person behind it? No, in this one, there's definitely someone inside the suit. I think he refers to the suit a few times in the Raven Core.
Okay, cool. The Raven core suit. I love that.
And I can't get over that jetpack. Look how fun that is.
I know.
I want one.
Yeah, I was about to say. Do you think we can get any of those?
To put
Like, do you
jetpacks on
know-
characters and all of
Right.
a sudden it's cool.
Like, yeah, I mean, why if it can make that guy jump that high and think about how much that suit must weigh, I could dunk. Like it'd be insane. That's easy for me if I get a jetpack like that.
Might be kind of dangerous.
It might be, but I'm willing to take that risk. All right, let's take a look at Shadow Eater Bakasura, a skin that is quite literally too spooky for me. The Opwash skin freaks me out, guys. And
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one
yeah.
definitely.
If that
yes.
one wasn't creepy enough,
I know.
this one
we just take it up a notch because it's
man.
Bakasura, right?
No, that.
But look,
it's-
but it's also cute. It's kind of like if you're walking in a.
weird way.
Tina did the same thing with that Opwash
that's
skin,
exactly what she
and
said.
I just don't get it.
But okay, but look, it's like a cute little like,
No.
oh, let me pet you, and then it eats your face.
You want to pet that?
If you woke
little
up in the
bit.
middle of the night and that was in the corner of your
Okay,
bedroom, how would
that's
you feel?
different.
But if you were just like strolling down the street and
And-
someone was like walking,
If you're going
just saw a
into
silhouette of
the
it?
jungle, you know.
yeah,
I think it's cute, but also dangerous.
very, very
Ooh.
dangerous. Has those same sort
Oh
of
wow, I love that
The
smoky.
smoky, yeah, exactly.
That's
Keeping with the
awesome.
Smoky's
theme.
definitely the right word for it. Has that same.
See, but that's what would happen if you tried to pet it. So
you would
don't
just-
pet it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't get close to this thing. Keep your arms and hands inside.
Sounds like he is very satisfied by the minion that he eats. He was a very long, delicious noise, basically.
But still hungry for more.
Always hungry for more. I love the passive effect that he gets around him. That kind of that shadowiness that starts to follow him, and then it does the same sort of thing on
Blades
Butcher
right
Blades
there.
here.
The trail that it leaves.
Right. He basically, if you have your passive procs,
There you go.
and
Minions
Butcher
got
Blades,
recolored.
here they are. Oh, dude, that symbol on the ground is so cool. I don't know even know what to call that sort of symbol, but it's spooky, and I like it. But not see. I'm okay with this level of spook. I just don't want to see the front side.
yeah.
You know, like the mask and the face.
You don't want
That's-
him coming at you.
Right, but like if no.
Oh, that chest mouth thing?
No, we don't like this. I didn't want this. Like, imagine that
Hello
is
there, Aggro.
towering over you. You know? No, thank you. Luckily, Bakasura is like short, so he won't be over like that. Oh, creepy. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack.
Attack middle lane. Defend.
Ooh.
Gank.
Purr.
Yeah, the purring.
Attack left lane. I won't eat you.
Thank you.
I'm Likey. They trust me.
Ooh.
You must be new to this realm. Let me show you around.
That's cool. The echo effect.
That's what I was gonna say. That echo effect.
Fatten up. Here, eat something. No, I am not your spirit animal. You will die for saying that. If the next person calls me cute, I'm going to pull their brains out.
There you go,
Okay,
Michaela.
well, you're in trouble.
Rip.
Sorry, my bad. Please forgive me.
Yeah, don't ask me. You gotta ask this guy. It's that same sort of. There's like it's young and it is kind of cute, and then you realize that like echo is coming from the Bakasura, and it's that growl is also coming from him.
Because he's got a deeper sounding echo voice there too.
Right,
Really
like the
Right.
multi-tone.
It's the second mouth.
Yeah.
right. It's
Oh, great.
It's his chest mouth.
That makes me feel a lot better. Thanks, John. Yeah, that I feel a lot better about that. All right, let's take a look at the skin that I've been looking forward
Oh
to.
yeah,
the
everyone's been
most.
waiting for this
Oh,
one.
this one.
Godzilla Scylla, just in time for Halloween.
If you notice the card art, there's like
Oh,
the
oh,
little
oh,
Smite
yeah.
Racer, there's the little
Stop,
Echo
stop,
Rat.
Don't tell them everything. They can look at it.
Okay. You can look at it when you're loading into game after you buy Godzilla.
Smart Car's Best
Scylla.
Adventure?
That's right. Yeah,
Best Adventure.
exactly. The find all the Easter eggs.
But I love all those Easter eggs. They're really.
There's so many.
The longer I look at it, the more things I
Oh
find.
yeah, I just noticed another one, but I'm not gonna say it. You have to
but
find
she's
it.
so cute.
And it's so vicious, but not like it's the exact opposite of the Bakasura one, right?
Oh, yeah,
Where you
it's
realize that like this she's not mean.
You know what? But I still wouldn't want to
then
wake
she
up to
dunks on
this
you,
in
you're
the
like, oh,
corner.
God.
She's
Right,
slightly terrifying still.
Yeah, it's cute. The little legs and the tail and the oversized head. It's all adorable, right there for Godzilla. So at least until we see the ultimate, in which case it probably will be a little bit scarier.
Oh,
She got her friends.
Look at all of her friends.
So
All
the
of her
dogs,
friends.
like, so everything got replaced, right? I mean, the dog heads,
Right.
everything got re-rigged from the ground up with new light puppets and new controls. So it was a lot of work going through this character, but I think it turned out great.
Yeah, and it looks like they're a little bit. I mean, maybe it's just having the faces on. Oh
Oh my
Just
god,
slap,
them
just
just
slap.
beating at the guy? Oh,
They
that's
smack
great.
you with their little stick arms. I was about to say that the dogs seemed a lot less like
Whoa.
fearsome. It's
We
the
never.
carpet.
That reminds me of my
That
childhood.
throwback?
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
carpet. Everyone knows that carpet, man, and it gets
Exactly.
more and more clear. See, I'm gonna
Yeah.
miss so many crushes now because I just want to see the carpet actually.
Yeah.
like,
Just
And
throw in
the
the ground.
enemies are going to be wanting to stand inside it to see it. So
right,
okay.
that it's not so bad there.
You got
Oh
like a
my
little
God.
city.
It is a little
Little
it's a little
pop-up
cardboard
nice.
city.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this skin is so good. I can't get over it. It also has the little carpet
Oh,
effects
here we
there.
go.
There's the I'm a monster. Makes the
Nice.
little cityscape pop up around.
And this was
awesome.
a community concept.
Yep,
Really?
right.
And
Exact- yeah.
the art Finotary, I think, is how you pronounce the name.
That seems accurate.
The notary. Yep.
But
That's
it's
awesome.
really amazing. A lot of time went into it, and I'm just extremely impressed with the details that this has all come together with.
What is this?
So
It's
this,
little helicopters attacking her.
so this is the VXG that you get with the skin, and like the Sarah on the effects team. When the extra mile added little like helicopters that would come in and attack you as she's like stomping around in this toy city that she's in. It's
That
great.
is
adorable.
incredible. And that's a totally different walk animation too.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. So Esbon was the animator who worked on this, and he like redid everything, like all 8 directions where she's stomping around. So it's a completely new walk cycle and everything.
Yeah, because normally she's got those like little tiny steps because she's just like kind of
Oh
shuffling.
no,
along
she's
the ground.
terrorizing the city.
Oh no, she's creating maximum damage right now when those helicopters are attacking her. That is incredible.
I really
love it
want-
so
Oh,
much.
even just the sound effects on those
Wait,
basic
let me.
attacks.
I didn't hear it. Squeak.
It's great.
That's great.
Whenever you buy Polynomicon, does it go like squeak, squeak, boom? Like off the polyproc, like you just get absolutely crushed by it. That'd be great. All right, let's take a listen to the voice back here.
Attack! Attack middle lane! Defend! Wait. Whoa! You're wild! I am the Alpha Predator! Catastrophic! Guess what? I sharpen my teeth on buildings. Rah! You are one ugly kaiju. Does my breath stink? 'Cause it might kill you! Me? A dinosaur? I eat dinosaurs for breakfast! Nom nom!
Oh.
That laugh is incredible. That whole voice pack is amazing.
It's maniacally cute in a way.
It's so cute. Like, oh, you think you're gonna destroy the city? Like, you're not actually going to. But then you get I'm a Monster for 1300, and you realize that she actually does.
That was the voice actress Carrie Savage as well.
Man, she did a great job.
Yeah, what a savage.
How cute. You one-shot the Gold Fury with Tower Killer on. Oh, but she's still so cute. Like, who cares? I love this skin. I really do. Again, congratulations and thank you to Fenotary for winning the Halloween portion of the community contest. An incredible concept that we are super excited to have in the game. As always, we had a lot of great submissions to that art contest, but Fenotary obviously knocked it out of the park with Godzilla Scylla. That does it for the skin portion. Thank you guys for joining me here on the casual set. We are getting closer to the Hera reveal, but we got one more thing before we get there. We got to toss it over to F-Dot sitting alongside the community team as they go over some esports stuff.
Hey, it's me. And Aggro didn't roast me this time. Got him.
Got him.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you, man?
Not bad. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, we hanging out? We ready?
We're chilling.
Yeah, we're very excited for this one. So HRX on the horizon. It's November 16th through the 18th. But here's something different I want to talk about. You can cosplay to HRX. That's a hashtag, actually. Why don't you guys tell me a little bit more about cosplaying to HRX?
That's exactly right. We've had a contest going on Twitter for the past 2 weeks or so, and today is the last day to enter. So if you guys have a high-res cosplay from SMITE that you want to show off on Twitter, post it on Twitter, use the hashtag cosplay to HRX, and just include a sentence about, why you want to make your way to Atlanta in November. And we'll be going through entries next week, and we'll be choosing 3 people to win an all-expenses-paid trip to HRX in November.
That's awesome. That's actually me on the right.
Oh man,
yeah,
I didn't know it was you.
Nicely done.
Yeah, right? I work hard on my cosplays. Are you guys cosplaying anything at all?
No, I'm not gonna cosplay.
Yeah, how about you, Alfred?
I thought about cosplaying Capri.
I could see that.
We'll see.
Yeah, I would definitely say like Capri, and looking at you, Isaiah. I feel like you could really nail like Bastet.
Yeah, Bastet. Maybe Baron Samedi.
I was thinking Neith.
I was thinking more Aphrodite.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll definitely take those notes, and I'll get working on a cosplay. Show it off.
You heard it right here.
Yeah.
You heard it right here. Community manager, you're gonna go in that direction. So all expenses paid, huh?
That's right.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, plus $15,000 in prizing. You saw that up there. But if you are trying to get your way to HRX the old-fashioned way, one thing I do want to tell you is that hotels are running out. You want to grab it soon. And there's a deadline just for the discount. So in case you guys didn't know, October 16th is going to be the deadline. But so right now, if you guys get tickets, there's actually a discount for hotel rooms. And that's a super big hookup because that's really where it all comes down to. Tickets will still be available after the fact. You don't have to rush out now, only if you want to grab that discount, which is, like I said, a really, really big deal. There's HRX going on. We've got the esports stuff. We've got the cosplay contest. Anything else you guys can tell us about what's going on down at HRX?
Yeah, so DreamHack pretty much is just a celebration of all things gaming. So when you go to DreamHack, you're going to be able to, participate in panels with some of the SMITE devs. We're going to have, of course, all of the esports, the cosplay contest, but there's also a lot of other stuff going on at DreamHack, like live music and like a bring your own computer LAN segment.
Ooh.
So definitely want to go check out DreamHack because there's a ton going on and it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, DreamHack is it's a big series. They have one in Sweden's the OG, and they do it all across the world. And there's all these different events, and the bring your computer is a big draw. But like we said, the cosplay contest is going to be there as well, so definitely want to catch that out. And then esports, that's the big to-do, right? We did our spring split, our summer split, our fall split. We just concluded it. The final matches will be taking place this afternoon. But what can you tell us about the esports side of thing, Alvin?
Oh, we're going to have all kinds of awesome stuff. We are wrapping up the SPL today. Like F. just mentioned, we are wrapping up our NA games. Schedule's right up here. We have Team Dignitas and Energy have already qualified directly to HRX. Splice has already qualified to HRX, and we will know our final North American qualified team today. And after that, the next thing we have to look forward to, the split is over, but the placement round is coming up fast.
That's right.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
We will be having the placement round November 5th through November 10th.
And that's so everybody's coming to that situation.
It's going to be a big party.
And then we filter on through. We get to see some of the best of the best of the best. They're going to play against each other in some crazy matches in the placement round. And then they who win will find themselves at the big shebang at DreamHack.
It's going to be crazy. We've got SGS going against SML, SML going against SPL. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, just everybody all over the place. Is there any team you're specifically rooting for, Alvin?
I'm rooting for Splice. I know they're not going through placement rounds, but I want to see Splice take it all. They've come from the bottom this year and gone all the way to number 2 seed, qualified right for the event.
That's the Cinderella story. They started together. They moved in together in the summertime, and from the bottom to the top, now just cruising towards DreamHack.
Now
a lot of fun. Definitely want to get your tickets. HighResExpo.com. Grab your tickets today. They'll be on sale for a long time, but if you do want that hotel hookup, you got to go ahead and grab tickets before the 16th. That's going to do it for myself, Isaiah, and Auburn. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
I think Chad is pretty much waiting on that hair reveal, so we should probably get right to it.
Let's not keep him any longer.
Right?
That works. We're going to go work on Isaiah's Bastet cosplay.
All right.
So that's what we're going to take a look at. Hera on the horizon. She's certainly a big deal.
The Queen has arrived. Thank you, F. for your applause off stage. It's time to get into Hera. I know you guys have been waiting, so let's get right to it. Joining me here to discuss Hera and reveal her, Ben, leader of the art squad, Richard, leader of all of us ever forever, and Pon, leader of Hera Design. Let's get to it, guys. Are you guys excited?
Yes, super excited. Finally get to talk about it.
Been a little bit, but we are very, very excited for it. So if a lot of people will probably be very familiar with Hera's story, but for those who aren't, why is she such a big deal in the lore?
So she is the wife of Zeus. She has a hand in almost anything that goes on in lore. She has a lot of stories where she is essentially from high above, kind of manipulating all the various gods into doing kind of what she wants, what the outcome she wants to have happen. She's involved in major stories. Not only that is she involved in major stories, but her partner Argus, who's going to be joining her on the battlefield, is involved in many stories, particularly the one with Io, where he's sent to kind of guard. He's guarding someone that Hera has punished for transgressions. But Argus on his own also has some really cool lores. I believe Echidna, I believe, is one of the people he defeats in lore. So he's kind of a big deal on his own, giant guy with eyes all over him, and as you can see, has many faces and eyes all over his body. So pretty cool stuff.
What was this an obvious choice for us to put Argus with Hera? Was there any consideration for separating them? Like what went into that design discussion?
Well, we were looking for kind of like a unique thing that we wanted to do with Hera. Hera has divine power. She has many servants under her. So it made sense for her to have more kind of the summoner playstyle where she's controlling an entity. And she had a very easy hook with Argus being this monstrous giant. So pairing them together was an early design decision.
All right, well, let's take a look at Hera in game for the first time. You're excited to reveal her. There she is in all her glory. Alone for now, but not for long. Richard and Ben, how important was it for us to make sure that Hera still, even without Argus at her side, had that commanding presence about her?
I think it's important for us to make her feel regal. As Queen of the Gods, you want to make sure visually
elegant and
narrative.
Dope.
Elegant and dope. I like that. That's a good. Those are two key pillars right there. That's art direction, people. That if you want to be an art director, you got it right there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we want to make sure that she didn't feel like super crazy. Like that's the regal part, right? You want to still make her feel like very feminine but classy. But at the same time, she has to stand out on her own. We try to have some of those peacock elements in there to help with that. And when Argus is on the battlefield, it's like you want to make sure that she is just as impressive, but it's like a dichotomy where he's like the bulk and the strength.
Right.
He's more like just like brute looking with like massive shapes. She's more elegant, soft. So I think having that be the key point was part of it.
It's like Cersei in the mountain.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Cersei in the mountain.
We all know, even though Argus is the big dude, who's really in control
Yeah.
in this position, and it was certainly Hera. Looks great in that game. Her walk animation definitely does convey that classiness and elegance, but also the power that she provides.
I think John did an amazing job with her hips as you see it move. It's wonderful. She still is elegant, beautiful, but also is very sensual.
Right, exactly. There's the front view of what you can see with Hera. What your enemies will be seeing is you run at them in the mid lane, as she is a mage, to be noted. So let's talk about the passive here. I already used this phrase, I think subconsciously. Her passive is called Commanding Presence.
Yep, so this is really to kind of enable her to have this kind of summoner play style. What we wanted with the ultimate, which when we get to it, it brings Argus into existence. But Commanding Presence allows Argus to be up way more often depending on how well you're doing as Hera. So each time you deal damage to a god, so this can be with your basic attacks or with your abilities, you'll reduce the cooldown of Argus by 1 second if it's on cooldown. And if he's up, you instead get to just heal him. So if he's up and taking some damage, you can actually help heal him up and make sure he lasts longer on the battlefield.
Okay, cool. I'll have some more questions about Argus, but I think we should just get to him later, I suppose. In fact, let's just take a look at that first ability, Royal Assault, and one that I'm super excited about.
Yes, so you got to see it there. It's a multi-targeter ability, one with an immediate cone in front of you that does damage, and then one that opens portals for these fists to come through and deal damage. So it's a tag team between Hera and Argus right off the bat.
So you get to summon Argus's fists, which are just absolutely enormous in this position. And it looks like there's a little line in the middle of that targeter as well.
Yep, that's the double hit area. So you can actually double hit. It'll deal 15% increased damage. We've had other similar abilities, multi-hit areas, when you find that that slight bonus damage makes it feel rewarding to get that a little bit without making the ability too variable.
And we wanted to make sure that there is some sort of hint that Argus's fists are about to clap your brain together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those little portals that appear on the side. How much did the art team have to work with the timing of that to make it feel pretty good while still giving you enough of a window to react?
I mean, the feel is everything, right? So like gameplay wise, it's gonna feel okay. As it's playing, it's the animation timing and the sound effects and the like effects that are happening all in unison. Having that kind of work in tandem is the key to making that all feel good. I think a lot of it's just animation, really, because there's like when you see the fist hit, there'd be like there's a lot of secondary motion that kind of happens, and there's a little bit of weight when it stays there, so
right.
It feels it has more mass.
And the timing here is it looks like it knocks back minions. Is that so? Does it knock them back to a set distance, or does it always go to where the portals are?
It will always go to where the portals are. We wanted Hera. She's the queen of the gods. These minions are not a major threat to her, so she just swipes them away, throws them right into the range of Argus's fists. It's a great wave clear tool. It feels really impactful. It's like this nice wombo combo you get to do with Argus, and it has some very high level applications of being able to manipulate the minion wave. We saw in some early tests where Anubis would go try and breath the wave, and then you just push the minions away, and they were suddenly gone. And so it really helps you get the feel for this being a tag team ability from them, and it's really cool because when you actually kill them all with it, they go flying into the air.
I really love this ability because it's not only thematically relevant, but also it adds value. It's like a little mini game within lane, so it's just a really cool addition to it.
And chat is always clamoring for unique targeters and different sort of ability styles, and this certainly fits that bill. Can't knock them up.
No, can't get them over the wall.
Yeah, fair enough. But they'll try, at least. They'll try to get up and over. I do love the get off me, peasants, sort of like, dismissive sweep that she gives to the minions.
Can you do Royal Assault through walls?
You can open up the portals through the walls. They will appear on the other side of that wall, but trying to throw minions over the wall, you can't quite do that. That would cause a few situations where it's like, well, I just don't want the minion waves to ever move, so I'm going to throw them into speed camp, and they just will stay there.
But you can do some picks through the jungle like that too, right?
Yeah.
Steal camps.
Yep.
You can steal camps. You can shoot through walls. If someone's trying to flee from you and you have a good idea where they are, you can definitely hit them with this ability.
Pon, do you want to go over the second ability next, or do you want to save that one until after the third? The second one, I think people are going to lose their minds. I just don't know if we want to space it out.
We gotta go in order.
All right, we gotta go in order. The second ability is polymorph, and I'll just let you see what happens here. That's a centaur now. Now he's Odin again.
Yeah, let's throw it one more time and see what happens.
Okay, so he's a centaur again, right? He
Nope.
doesn't look that is a harpy.
Yes, that is a harpy.
Okay.
So this ability has a very long windup into a line projectile that passes through everything it hits. If it's minions, it just deals damage to them, but if it hits a god, it will polymorph them. And the unique thing about this is it will polymorph them, so that's a silence disarm effect. It will polymorph them into a random minion from the map. So any jungle creature from a map, you'll get to pick from. So this works in Clash, this works in Joust. In Assault, it'll always be a harpy because we had to have something because Assault doesn't have a jungle camp. And it's unique per target. So if you hit these 5 Odins conveniently lined up, they are all different things.
Oh my lord. That is so cool. That is so sick. Okay, so Ben, as for the art team, when Pon comes to you and says, I want to turn every god into a jungle minion, how long does it take security to peel you off of him? And how hard is it really?
What we do is we say, hey, programmers, can you do this for us?
Okay, so it's the programming who gets very angry at Pon in this situation.
The big concern was, do these models have the ability to walk around and look normal? Because normally we don't give players control of walking around with those models.
Right.
The other concern was loading time. But if we're pulling from the map assets themselves, we get to have these really cool effects where we're pulling from the map thematically. Hera's on Conquest, so she's going to turn them into Conquest creatures without adding that extra load.
Gotcha. So you can move around.
Extra models.
Yeah.
So it saves us time too.
Yeah, perfect.
What's the duration of polymorph?
Duration is 1.2, scaling to 2 seconds. So at max range, you actually have a 2 second polymorph. Silence disarm.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
if
solid.
I had to just wager a guess in this.
We messed around with polymorph quite a bit in testing, and we found that when it's too short, it feels more jarring than anything. But when you've had time to recognize you've become this creature, you have the ability to counterplay. So it's not like a stun, which if you're lasted for 2 seconds, you'd be completely out of control.
Right.
You can move, you can juke things still. So we felt like this duration really helped kind of give the weight of the polymorph what it needed.
Is this basically, for all intents and purposes for the players, just a fancy silence in a lot of ways?
It's silence disarm, which has different benefits, but essentially it's kind of a fancy. We did this for Kernanos, which was the polymorph effect, which is silence disarm.
Right.
And so now we've kind of solidified that as a CC type. Polymorph is what silence and disarm at the same time are.
Okay, so
they all have their unique place. They all have their unique places within this world of CC. End of day, when you're polymorph, you can move around. There is counterplay to that, and specifically to Hera, as you can see, when she winds up her polymorph, if you know Hera, if you watch her play, you can predict that and really avoid that. But also, if you're not watching for Hera, she can CC the entire team. She can CC multiple people. So there's definitely major strengths to this play, but there's major counterplays too. So
up close, it'll be pretty easy for her to, not easy necessarily, but easier for her to hit a solo laner who's right on top of her to give herself 2 seconds of window. Mm-hmm. But from far away, it is a pretty slow, it feels like.
Yeah, we gave it a lot. Like, this is ability from the get-go. We wanted to be slower warm-up time, so you had a really big wind-up and a longer, slower travel time so that you had time to see it and juke it. So there's really a skillful element to this ability, which I love.
Very excited about polymorph. Let's take a look at Divine Shroud, her third ability. And this is one that is in lieu of a normal leap or jump. Hera doesn't. That's a little bit less dignified than she doesn't want to move around like that. She didn't really feel like it. Instead, she'll just sit here and absorb all that damage.
Yep. So she gets a shield around herself. She shrouds herself in divine magic. And on the surface, this is a pretty solid move that you have as a mage. Being able to, you see you're about to get Scylla Crush, and you can mitigate that damage. But it has an extra component with Argus, which is when Argus is out, he'll be fighting. He has movement speed. You can throw him at targets. When you shroud yourself in divine magic, you also shroud Argus in divine magic, and he will actually get bonus effects. He'll get bonus movement speed, and he'll pulse on aura. So when you're just playing by yourself, it's a strong defensive tool. When you're playing with Argus, it can become an offensive tool very quickly.
Oh, that's really cool.
Go in, do you hit AoE first, AO3 first, or do you wait? How long does it last?
It lasts for 5 seconds, so you can use it preemptively, or if you see it coming, you can just pop it to see the incoming damage immediately. Enemies have a little bit of time to play around it. They can choose to focus other targets until it's down, or it can just burn through it pretty quickly. 250
at base right now. Of course, all numbers with all new gods are always subject to change, so make sure you get onto the PTS and give us your feedback there.
And I love the visual effects of this, the iridescent shine.
It's so clean. You know, there's no, it's perfect shine all throughout. And is that a difficult effect?
Just like you.
Richard, you only come through once every 2 weeks, my friend. I don't know about that.
But what's the cooldown on AO3?
So this one I believe is 16 seconds if I remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yep, 16 seconds.
Okay.
So it is longer duration. You don't have it as often. When it's down, there's a definite window for you to deal with it. And it doesn't go really on cooldown until it's broken or until it's used or until it fades.
It expires.
So it's not one of those that like gets a cheat and it's really 11-second cooldown. It's a full 16-second cooldown.
Right. And we have done shields of this nature before, Ben, but this one definitely does look a little bit different than, say, Nem's shield. Nemesis shield feels a little bit more like I'm just brawling it out. You know, I'm right there in the thick of the battle.
She's judging you. She's judging you.
Right, exactly. This one is very, again, almost dismissive. Like, this is just something Hera feels like doing right now.
It's that whole elegance theme, right? We want it to be clean, a lot of cool colors going in there, but you can see her specifically in there. And you get the framing of the shield, so we want to keep it like you still focus on her, but you get this nice, simple, elegant kind of like shield with all these colors.
All right, well, I think we've waited long enough to see Argus the Defender. Can we get an Argus in here, please, real quick? Yeah, that looks like it'll get the job done.
Yep.
That is insane. I mean, I said I was in awe of the size of this lad earlier on, but my goodness. That is one beefy boy.
Yep, he is the muscle.
Yeah, I'll say. So how does Argus work? How do you control him?
So first you summon him in. She'll actually open a portal up from the sky. Again, things are work in progress, so something's not gonna happen. We didn't see the portal that time. But she'll open a portal in the sky. He'll fall and come crashing down, knocking up and damaging anyone in the path. And then you can control him similar to like Caldir Pet. We found that through experimentation with Nuwa minions, Caldir, we find that giving control over these kind of long duration pets or the pets that have really big impact is important to making the ability feel good. And so we wanted to give, his time expired. He has a 40-second time limit.
Okay, 40 seconds is still a good amount of time.
To Pon's point, like for using a pet ability, you know, giving agency to players is super important. So I think AJ, Pon, and team did a great job with that philosophy.
Yep.
And it looks like he's got a different those auto attacks. How does his chain sort of work in that sense?
So the big thing is we wanted to make him feel more intelligent than just an AI that goes up and punches you. So he has a unique attack chain. So when he connects with his punch, if he connects with his first punch, he'll go into an overhead slam that he does that's AoE and slows targets. If he hits with that, he'll lift up the ground and do a line attack damage. So when he's in the middle of a team fight, he can get some residual damage as long as he's hitting things. But if he misses, he'll kind of catch himself and he'll go find another target to start punching again and then continue through that chain.
Okay, so it's only if they connect, Aegis included. If you Aegis one, you can still get hit by the subsequent chain. Can you CC Argus?
He has CC to very limited things. He is CC to slows and roots. But outside of that, he's going to be coming at you.
Okay, so no knockups, no stuns.
Yep.
Does he go through player-made walls?
No, he will obey player-made walls. He'll have to walk around them.
So this is something that I saw when we kind of debuted the initial look and the kind of design idea of Hera and Argus. There's a lot of community feedback about Argus in particular. How did that impact the final product?
Oh yeah, it was a weekend, and I was reading through Reddit and talking with players about it through DMs and through posts, and I messaged Ben. Was it Saturday? Maybe I guess a month ago. Time kind of just pausing together, but I was like, Ben, man. Okay, they have valid concerns. We really want to implement the eye as part of it, but we wanted to still have visual clarity and make it feel like what we wanted. Sure. And then Ben, I mean, how'd you handle that feedback?
Well, I mean, people want it to be lore accurate, and we want that as best we can too. But you know, we want to do that without compromising on the design as a whole. So like a bunch of eyes everywhere is going to look silly. Like it's just going to be noisy. It's not. You're not going to be able to like draw attention to focal points. You're just going to see a bunch of noise. So we figured let's have the areas that are kind of like the negative space opposed to the gold, like the kind of like white areas. They're going to still read nicely at a macro level, right, as white. But then when you get in close, there's some etching in there. It's like a bossed eyes, so it's like still kind of classy.
We were studying classic architecture, actually, like classic architecture where you look from afar, you can see there's a pattern there, but up close you can see the details. So taking from that lesson, we implemented it into his body.
Yeah, Richard sent me a picture of this floral pattern. He's like, we should do something like this. And I was like, okay, let me take it from there.
Yeah.
Now, just a reminder for everybody, Hera will not be available for HRX and DreamHack. A little bit too close. Players wouldn't be able to get used to her in a competitive setting, so you won't see her on the big stage there, but you'll be able to play her in your games and all that kind of good stuff, certainly when that World Championship does come around. And there's the 3 I was just about to ask to activate the 3. There's that pulsating damage that happens. That does require you to use your only defensive cooldown though, on Hera if you want to add that damage.
Yep, and you can see if he has the shield active when Argus is being summoned, it will happen. And it does quite a bit of damage. It actually is a high amount of scaling. So if you can get Argus on someone and get that full tick off, it's quite a bit of damage for that trade-off of losing potentially the survivability that you have. Just a kind of a neat style to choose if you want to be really aggressive with Argus or just kind of play the more safe game and keep your defensive tool to yourself.
He really does move quickly whenever you activate that third ability.
50% boost.
Yeah,
he goes fast.
He certainly does.
One speedy boy.
Go fast. You were just mentioning playstyle. What do we expect from Hera in terms of playstyle?
So I think the one cool thing about Hera is the playstyle is less scripted. You can choose to use the shield more defensively or offensively. You have a consistent range poke, and you have with the 1, so you can choose to kind of poke for damage, or you can commit your hard CC into some more damage. And so rather than having just these set combos that players have within their toolkits, she's very open-ended in that regard, which fits for her because she is a planner, she's a tactician. She chooses the ability order that she needs to that situation. She also has some kind of additional utility that lets her flex around a bit. We expect her to be a quite solid mid-mage, but you are bringing another tank into the battlefield. Argus is relatively tanky, and let's say you and your hunter are up and you think that you can go for Gold Fury. Well, maybe you couldn't tank it before, but Argus can. So you throw Argus down, let him tank the Gold Fury while you DPS. Argus might die during that, but getting a Gold Fury is totally worth it. Late game Fire Giant's a similar story.
Plus, I mean, the idea is that you're using your passive in order to get Argus up more and more often. Is that the idea? I mean, are you supposed to be getting Argus semi-consistently?
Yeah, 70-second cooldown. It's reduced by the passive, and the passive really rewards you for playing Hera aggressively and getting those hits on gods, because each individual hit of an ability on a god will cause the passive to go down. So if you hit if you hit the double damage on the fist hit, that's 2 seconds off. If you polymorph 5 targets, that's 5 seconds off. So each ability that you can kind of use to lower Argus's cooldown can be multi-hit.
Okay, so you can really get Argus quickly if you're playing well.
Built some cooldown reduction. He's up often, and we've kind of bounced around the idea that she's going to have access to Hera or to Argus pretty often.
So in Arena and Assault, you could have Argus up almost always.
But it won't have that same sort of utility of being able to tank the big objectives for you quite
definitely
as much.
Definitely not. Different type of play style.
Yeah, exactly. One that can be very effective in multiple different game types. So I do want to take a look. I see that we have the recolor here, and I'm excited to see it because
this recolor is so good.
It says here on my sheet, this recolor is so good! Multiple exclamation points. And they are right. That is awesome. I love it. The red instead of the blue. Does that it looks like Argus has changed as well in this recolor?
Yep.
That looks really awesome. We do have it in game as well. This one, the white hair instead, a little bit. This one feels a little bit more dramatic to me in a way.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, with the recolors, we try to find good color compositions that work well and they feel good for the characters. So we were trying to do something that still felt classy, but like you can't do a lot of like neon colors. So this is like a classic kind of look that's looks a little more maybe Evil Queen kind of maybe, but like it's definitely it looks pretty good, I think.
Do have to still listen to that voice pack and see. I want to see the back animation and all that kind of stuff. We've been really killing it with those sort of coincidental animations, but I also want to see Argus in this recolor form. Does Argus recall back to base with you whenever he's up?
Yep. If you recall back to base, he'll recall with you. He'll go back to base.
Super cool.
And you can see there he has the dark marble.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, this recolor is so good.
Have you done the back? Jessica did an amazing job with that. It's really like seeing her back.
Oh yeah, the animations as a whole.
Have you seen that? Yeah. So very much the queen over here. She doesn't just back herself. Argus is going to be her throne.
Oh my, she doesn't. She's so in like.
I love the timing of her legs too. Like
yeah.
if you're a fan of Beyonce, your queen is now.
That's right.
Hera.
The queen is here without a doubt.
Don't give me a fake laugh, Pawn.
No,
it's good. Fake laugh, man.
That was genuine.
They're saying cringe for me anyways.
Yeah. The back animations we really have stepped it up on recently. That's something that really impressed me with Baron, really impressed me with Pele, and now here with Hera as well.
And Hera has a whole bunch of lobby unique animations. Like Argus will join on the lobby screen. The hands will come out and clap. So there's a lot that went into making Argus appear more often than just in the ultimate.
Gotcha. That's super cool. Let's take a listen to the voice pack. We haven't done that quite yet here for Hera.
Attack! Defend! I fight for the safety of my people and kingdom. What do you fight for? Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Zeus and I lived happily for a millennia. Then we met.
That's pretty good.
Yes, very good.
There you go, Hera, with her in-game voice, very in control.
Yep.
would be my description.
We even got a yes queen.
Oh, perfect. Yes,
but it's on a joke.
You serve me well.
We might be able to get the joke here.
My servants are yelling, "Yes, queen," to each of my requests. I don't know why, but it has grown on me.
Yeah, I can see why. There you go. Hera looking just incredible. We also have her mastery skins. We've been doing those with the God release. So if you really do fall in love with this character, and how could you not, then you can actually represent that in-game with these mastery skins. The gold and blue, I mean, it's a logical pairing with this God as is.
Yeah. Oh, and we want to say thank you to all the love on Reddit and beyond. There's a lot of people saying great work and seeing how the card art has improved. Mm-hmm. There's a Slack channel where we're all talking about it, and it really helped the morale of the team. So we wanted to say everyone here, giving us the love on that.
Yeah,
really appreciate that. I mean, that's why we do this. We all love games. We love what we do, and when we get that positive feedback, it really drives us to do better for y'all.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
really awesome. Thank you guys in the community. And this legendary skin looking very good. The peacock feather dress definitely lends itself to these sorts of stark but good color synergies in this sense, as the diamond should be coming as well. There it is. Does Argus change in these mastery skins?
He does.
Very
He'll
good.
have the golden form. I think the blue generally comes from like his loincloth area, and then the diamond one, he's all diamond.
Super awesome. Let's. Oh, that's Odin.
Oh wow.
Another
she
big
turns
boy.
to Odin.
Yeah, a little bit different.
She polymorphed herself.
Yeah, there you go. There's the diamond.
Oh yeah, oh man, that is so cool. Star-studded right there, with just really decked out. Can you imagine how much that would cost to have an armor, that much armor made of diamond?
Your Argus?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's hurting for
hey,
money.
HRX cosplay show. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one to do.
If you be my hair, I'll be Argus.
I'm down.
Okay, done.
I'll tell you what, I've got a dress that doesn't look anywhere near that good.
Don't lie to the community, Aggro. You said it, man.
I mean, all right. I got to talk to Nabil about how we're gonna make it work, but we'll try and make something happen here. I think that'd be a lot of fun. That is Hera, guys. Again, we're super excited for you to get your hands on her. PTS coming out when it's ready is
when it's ready. We gotta make sure it's all good and situated, and then we'll get it into your guys' hands so you can play test it. Give us some feedback. Hair balance, if there's any balance concerns, we can address them before Hera actually ships live.
Right.
So we're pretty excited. I'm super excited that players will actually be able to play Hera now.
It's been a long time coming. We're finally able to give Hera to you. And by the way, on the balance thing, Pon, I mean, we probably won't need it. I mean, what? Achilles was good.
Achilles was
Baron
fine.
was
Baron's
good.
Fine.
Right. Like we're good.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about that.
It'll be great.
Again, Hera not available at HRX.
We're going to make sure. So
Yes.
Pon and I talked about this at length. So real talk, you guys are right. Baron was overtuned at first.
Very much overtuned.
Pon's turning red right now. So
the numbers were okay.
Yeah, we are.
They weren't.
We really do look at that. End of day, we talk about how there's a sexy percentage we want, which is a win rate can never be 50% for all gods. On release, we want to hit that good 50 to 60%. Anything past that feels kind of off.
Yep.
But depending on how hard it is to play a god, you're going to see the percentages change with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Pele was actually, what was it, like 49, 46%?
She was a bit lower, yeah.
She was a little bit lower, but perception on social was that she was overtuned because end of day, if an assassin is doing well, it feels that way.
Sure.
It's perception. But I think Hera's a good goddess where end of day, we're going to look at that and it's going to be easy for us to adjust those levers quite well. So
we have a lot of cooldown adjustments we can do, scaling adjustments we can do, how impactful the passive is to bring Argus up. There's a lot of things that we can do to really address Hera if there are balance concerns.
Yeah, that's right.
Big if there, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching the 5.19 update show. Again, PTS is coming out soon. Also remember, buy your HRX tickets. Time is running out to get that discount on your hotel rooms as well. We hope to see you all there. All of us will be at DreamHack, so make sure you come in and say hello. SPL is coming up right after this, so make sure you go get a snack, run to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. We'll be back with SPL pretty soon. Thanks so much for watching.